I have been looking for ages for this comment in my drafts. So Gojo's power from Jujutsu Kaisen is one of my favorite powers in anime. A lot of people have had really big and detailed videos on how it works, but honestly, I can say it in one sentence. It makes Zeno's paradox real. Zeno's paradox is an infamous mathematical paradox that basically says if you're going to move any distance, first you have to move half that distance. And then you have to move half of the distance that's left. And then half of that distance. And then half of that distance. And since you can keep dividing distance infinitely, you basically can never get anywhere. Now, Zeno's paradox has been solved. Calculus, for one, we could take the limit of something as it approaches infinity and get a non-infinite answer. The Planck length, for two, there is a smallest possible length that actually means something. Also, the paradox just falls apart if you reverse its direction. Like, divide a distance however much you want and say the first thing you have to do is move this distance, then double that, then double that, then double that, then double that, and then eventually you'll actually get to the distance. Anyway, the point is, Gojo makes Zeno's paradox real. It's not theoretical. It's not just math anymore. He makes it a reality. So you can never touch him because there's always another division you have to travel before you touch him. Another half the distance, another half that distance, so on and so forth. He never runs out of cursed energy because he could always spend half of his remaining cursed energy, and half of that, half of that, half of that. And the Jujutsu Kaisen writers are pretty math smart. Just look at Nanami's ratio technique. A lot of cursed powers have to do with making math concepts real. It just so happens that the concept that Gojo's technique makes real is one of the more broken ones. Because that is the point of Zeno's paradox, and in a way, the point of infinite set theory as we know it. Any value can be an infinity, because there are infinite values between any two values. But in the real world, in science, we have ways of resolving this. That is why I constantly say a very commonly held scientific opinion is that infinities do not exist in physical reality. They only exist in math. And all that Gojo's power does is say, but what if they did? What if the concept of infinity wasn't just a useful descriptor in math that helps us when we're studying science? What if it actually did physically exist? How broken would that be? And the answer is pretty broken. If infinity were a real physical object, it would muck things up even on the small scale. And Gojo's power shows exactly how it would. Just in big anime cool fighty style. And with just gorgeous eyes.